sure you're wondering what on earth I'm doing. Out of the vehicle, there is a large giraffe over there on the airstrip, so we've timed out to get a little low profile shot of him as he's out in the open as we are heading off in the beginning of our drive. It is a cold, misty morning, so it's quite an epic little scene, this. We popped across this morning to the Xinkhova female. She was found last night with a duiker carcass, which is currently hoisted up in the tree there behind me. But she's now just moving around on the ground, eating some grass. So, who said that leopards were strictly carnivores? No, I'm joking. This is basically her just eating some of the fresh green shoots of grass. It's believed to help with their digestion, and it's also if they have a bit of a stomach issue or something stuck, they eat that to help increase their fiber intake, which will help pass through any issues. But another thing that we can also relate with, apart from her needing a little bit of greenery in her diet, is she had a little sneezing fit. Almost as though she had sniffed up a bunch of ants or some sand or something as she was trying to eat some of the grass there, or got a little bit of hay fever, and she was just sneezing away. Eventually that seemed to subside. Now she's moseying off into the distance here. Looks as though she has fed on that carcass a decent amount. This morning, before we got to the Xinkhova female, we had a phenomenal sighting with the Maxim's male. He was found with an impala carcass that had been stolen by 5 hyenas. He was up in a marula tree and the hyenas were having their fill with an enormous impala ram. Eventually the hyenas, squabbling over the carcass, moved off, allowed him to come down out of the tree. As we arrived there, he came charging in to try and steal a bit of the carcass. We didn't capture it on camera, we just saw it in the distance, very thick. And we looped around and then had the most unbelievable view of the Maxim's male. He is enormous and historically has been rather skittish and doesn't necessarily stick around in plain view when vehicles are around. However, this time he lay out in the open. I think it's because his attention was focused on the hyenas as opposed to the vehicles. But we had a great view of him there, some epic shots, before he then got up and tried to move across to where the hyenas were. They had their fill, or at least one of the more dominant or higher ranked hyenas had her fill. She was just standing over the carcass. I was hoping that he would go charging in there and try and steal it. After waiting for about an hour and a half, nothing happened. So we left the hyenas as she was dragging the carcass up towards a very thick area. No more view of the Maxim's male. So maybe at some point later on in the day he might try and steal that carcass. But we decided to then pop across here, and so we'll see if anything else materializes. Turn this camera off before we waste all the battery. But as it stands now, she's still just milling about over there eating some grass. My first impression as soon as I've arrived here is, my goodness, these lions are small. It's difficult because I'm comparing tiny sub-adult lions to the two Gijima males. Not a fair comparison, but after spending some time with those very large males, to then come across here, you do get an appreciation for the size of those lions. So these lions are doing what lions do best this morning. The two Gijima males are flat out resting. But thankfully, once again, a couple of elephants have helped us get a little bit of action, causing the blonde male to walk across from where he was about 120 meters that way. I do believe there's been a bit of trouble on our neighbours, in the sense that the Gijima males were seen chasing all of these sub-adults around in the Sand River not so long ago. It has been a while since I last saw these lions, these youngsters. They have definitely fled and spent a bit of time elsewhere, because there was firstly the Talamati male and Xinkhova male that were causing a bit of trouble chasing them. Then the Gijima males arrived and have also caused these guys to run off a little bit. The Nzanga males haven't been seen on Londolozi for more than 3 weeks now, so they have pretty much abandoned these youngsters. It looks like it is just 3 young males and 4 young females, or 4 young males and 3 young females. So I can't help but worry for these little sub-adults, because without the helping hands of any of the adults with them, or that one lone adult that was with them, hunting is going to prove to be quite a challenge. Sorry, I'm just trying to multitask as they're moving around here. And so, therefore, they might be quite hungry. But because of the presence of the Gijima males around here and the absence of the Xinkhova males, their protectors, these lions are going to be forced into a very nomadic lifestyle. It was always going to happen at some point, but maybe a little bit earlier than one would have anticipated. But with some of these young males with them, they are pretty decent hunters. I'm sure they'll be alright, catching smaller things. Every now and then getting one big meal will help them on their way. And also, at the end of the day, that is nature. That's how things are supposed to be for lions. I guess in the grand scheme of things, life for these young lions is going to get rather challenging going forward. So subscribe to our YouTube channel to stay in the loop with what's happening out here. And thanks for watching this virtual safari. We'll see you back here again next weekend for another episode.